Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we are going to be going over a huge bomb cyclone that's going to be impacting the northwest, and this is going to bring a lot of impacts, okay? Especially across Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, where we are going to have that potential for, first of all, catastrophic flooding, especially around the Eureka area, where this will just bring continuous showers and thunderstorms. We will also need to be watching for several feet of snow potentially, as we do have some blizzard warnings currently in effect for parts of those areas. So we will need to be watching all of those areas, including the Sierra Nevadas, very closely, and we can also expect there to be very high winds as well. So even if you're not under, the threat of a winter storm or anything like that, you can still expect there to be high winds in parts of the west of the northwest United States, as this once again is really going to bring a ton of impact. So we will let you guys know about all that stuff, so make sure to stay tuned till the end, so that way you guys know about what to expect and what we could even see. We will also be going over a few other things too as well, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you guys updated with the latest. Don't forget to leave a like too as well, and of course leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys can leave anything down below as long as it's respectful, and I will get to those right after today's weather forecast. But let's first go ahead and take a look at what we can expect with this bomb cyclone. And as you guys can see, we currently have a massive cyclone in this area, as we currently have a big powerful one right over here getting ready to impact parts there of California. We also got another one. Look at this one. This one has a really wild hook shape to it, so we will need to be watching both of those closely, as those are getting ready to head on to shore like this. And so definitely expect there to be a ton of impacts, as those both do look very intense. So make sure to be on very high alert if you do live across the northwest, as both of these really do look to bring significant impacts. But this is the one especially that we're going to be watching for, as once again it really does look to bring that potential for all impacts, including the potential for winter storms in the higher elevations. And then if we go ahead and look at the excessive rainfall outlook, as you guys can see, we do have a slight risk for flash flooding across parts there of northwest California, but that marginal risk even heads all the way up there into Washington. We are going to continue to see the remains of Sarah down here towards parts there of Alabama, and as well as into the western panhandle of Florida, but I'm not really concerned about that area anymore, as those remains are really starting to die down. Once again, we are mainly going to be watching the northwest closely, as those really look to potentially be in a state of emergency. So we will really need to be watching both of those areas closely, but once again, it's especially going to be over there near the Eureka area in California. And then as we head to tomorrow, once again, those remains will die down a lot, but back over here towards California, we actually continue to see that risk for flash flooding, as the Weather Prediction Center thinks that that flood threat will continue to get worse as we head to tomorrow, as we do have a moderate risk for flash flooding. And once again, that's going to be for areas like Eureka in California, and that even gets even more extreme as we head into Thursday of this week, which will be after tomorrow. We're talking the potential for catastrophic flooding, guys. Catastrophic flooding, as the Weather Prediction Center has issued a high risk for flash flooding, which is just something you don't see every day up here in California. So if you do live across the Eureka area, especially be on high alert as we head into Thursday. But keep in mind, though, that things should start calming down a little bit in parts of California as we head to the weekend. It's just going to be Thursday, especially, when we see that highest potential for flash flooding. So definitely be aware about that if you do live around the Eureka area once again. So we will continue to watch you guys very closely, and once again, make sure to be on very high alert. And then if we go ahead and look at the watches, warnings, and advisories, once again, we got a ton of winter storm warnings and blizzard warnings across parts here of this area, especially the Cascades, all the way back down into portions there of the Sierra Nevadas. So that will be an area to really watch for, as we once again could be talking several feet of snowfall, especially in the highest elevations. As I mean, this is just so big, this is going to bring continuous snowfall to those areas. So I mean, I'm really serious about that. We could be seeing several feet of snow, so definitely don't get surprised about that. And then we do have high wind warnings in parts there of the west too as well, because like I said, even though you may not be under the gun for winter storms, parts there of Oregon and even parts there of the coastal areas will be at risk for 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, as there's currently high wind warnings in parts of those areas for the next few days. So we will really need to be watching the Northwest for the next few days once again, as you know, I mean, the least I can say is that some of these states might be in an emergency by the time we head into the next few days. So be paying attention if you do live anywhere in Washington, Oregon, or northern and central California. We also do have that high wind warnings across parts there of the Dakotas back into Nebraska. Those are areas to also watch closely for too as well, with even some dense fog advisories ongoing down here towards Louisiana and Arkansas. But once again, we are especially concerned about this area right over there. And then if we go ahead and take a look at what we can expect, because once again, we're going to have a bomb cyclone over here, just bringing continuous rounds of snow and heavy rainfall to parts there of the Northwest. And just look at all that snowfall we're getting, guys. Once again, we could be seeing that potential for, just, maybe several feet of snow. We'll have to see on how much snow, or I mean, just how much, rain and snow this really wants to bring. But once again, though, we should really be on high alert for anything like that if you do live across the Northwest. And then after that, that will continue to move on down through parts there of the Ohio Valley as we head into Wednesday, November 27th, which won't be this week, this will be next week. So, this will need to, we will need to be watching it closely. And I accidentally moved it, by the way. But like I said, though, we will really need to be watching it very closely as we head into the very end of November, with potentially a winter storm ongoing across those areas, and that could even continue up there across the Northeast by the time we head into Thanksgiving, which could, ruin some travel impacts if you do have anything planned for Thanksgiving. So make sure to be paying attention if you do live anywhere in the Northeast, as I mean, this kind of does look like a nor'easter to me, so we will really need to be watching it very closely, like I said. So be on very high alert if you do live in anywhere in the Northeast. And then after that, this does remain uncertain, but another winter storm could be possible as we get into December. So this is once again going to be an area to really be watching closely for, as we might even see a big line of showers and thunderstorms start to develop. But once again, we are going to be watching it closely, but it still does remain a little bit uncertain on what we see. So definitely, take this storm with a grain of salt, as December is still a little bit far out, but we are definitely starting to get more certain about this. And then if we look at the total snowfall now, as you guys can see, a lot of snowfall likely out here to the west. And, as you guys can see, some of those dark white colors, grayish colors, across parts there, the Sierra Nevadas start to show up. So, this scale only goes up to 48 inches. So when you're seeing, those gray colors, that either indicates 48 inches or more, including parts there of the Sierra Nevadas, like I said, and even up there into parts there of the Cascades. So, once again, probably something that could, really bring a ton of snow, possibly even up there towards 7 feet of snow, as that bomb cyclone, like I said, will just bring continuous rounds of that. We also do have that potential for some winter activity across this area. Not really talking a whole lot across the Ohio Valley, but definitely talking quite a bit there across the mid-Atlantic up there into New England, with maybe even a couple inches occurring down here in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and back down there into northern Texas. But once again, this is still pretty far out, so things could very well change. And then after that, we will, also need to be watching for rainfall. There's anywhere from now all the way to November 28th. And, once again, really talking a ton of rainfall all across parts there of California, especially around the Eureka area. We're talking well over a foot potentially across parts there of Northern California and Northwest California. So obviously something to not ignore these next few days, with even some pretty high amounts likely from the deep south all the way up there into New England, but not really looking like anything too crazy though. It's really going to be this area over here to see the worst out of it. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, especially if you would like to stay tuned for more weather updates on Weather with Sim. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up too as well. Those help out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys can leave anything down below as long as it's respectful. And I hope you guys all have a great Tuesday, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Ooh.